for staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually very, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor and a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the bodies mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on the deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome into episode 192 of Fired Up Sports. Check us out at firedupsports.com. I'm Mike Gillotto. Joining me as always, Dom Console. What's going on, man?
Dude, I just had a heart attack. What's up?
Okay.
So my wife was upstairs and I just heard her scream, and then I looked up. I don't know if you saw me, like right as we were going into it. It was a girl on TV because there was a spider, like on the commercial, who screamed. My heart just dropped.
So somebody screamed. You thought it was coming from inside your house, but it was the TV the whole time.
Yeah. If it is
Nice.
coming from inside of my house, the door's right here.
Well, yes, it is. Yes. But,
Every
what I
man
meant.
for themselves.
Yes, you know what I meant. That is true. No, listen, it's good it was just the TV, I guess.
Yeah.
Gave you a little
What's
scare.
up?
That's weird. That's weird to have in a commercial, by the way. Just a scream.
It was like a Google
what-
thing. Like
Oh,
I guess
Google.
it was like the Google, one of these like Google apps or whatever. Like she saw a spider and like screamed and then like took a picture, like scanned it with like a Google app or something.
Said what spider it was, what species of spider.
Right. Well, speaking of,
Okay.
are you a fan of what's his, Tim Robinson?
Who's that?
He's like a he was on, well, he wasn't on SNL. He was a writer on SNL, but he does like those the YouTube videos.
I don't know who
I
that.
Think You Should
I know
Leave.
Craig Robinson.
No, you're not familiar with I Think You Should Leave.
No.
All right, so it's like you've probably seen the video. The guy that it went viral maybe like a year ago. It was
I do know who this guy is.
Okay.
I know this guy.
where he's in the drive-through and he like orders like 10 burgers and 10 fries and 10 blah 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 blah. And
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have seen it. Yes.
so he's starting to blow up. He just did a movie with Paul Rudd. It just came out last week. Anyway, he was just on a late night show and talking about how him and like 4 other comedians have a spider league. It's a spider fantasy league.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So anytime that they find a spider, they scan it, and like the cooler the spider is, they have like a point system.
Okay.
And he just like suspended somebody from the league because they brought up something else in the chat that wasn't related to the spider fantasy league.
And he got the boot.
Yeah, or suspended.
Okay.
Yeah.
He got sussied in a spider fantasy
Yes.
league.
Yes.
Whose crazy idea is it to start something like that? Like how does that come up in conversation where it's like, you know what? Like everybody has fantasy football and
Yeah.
let's create our own league of something. But like, what do we want to base it around?
Right.
Right? Do we want to do foods? Do we want to do movies? Do music? No, let's do spiders.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure like I was just like a TikTok that I saw, so I'm sure he like explains it a little bit more about like why
Yes.
they do it. But we got Matsui, so you know what that's from, right?
Yeah, that's 40-Year-Old Virgin, right?
No, it's Knocked Up.
No, knocked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's he's in that movie.
And speaking, no. Paul Rudd says that
Yes.
they walk in because she thinks he's cheating, and
Yes.
he's at a fantasy baseball draft, and he goes,
And then
"We got Matsui."
who was it? I'm trying to think of who was the guy running the league because he's like, don't let the door hit you in the vagina on the way out. It's a good line.
And then
I forget-
I
forget who
don't
that
know
is,
that he
though.
is anybody, but yeah. And then when they're outside, he goes, Seth Rogen goes, "Oh, that was really funny." He's like, "Don't let the door hit you in the vagina on the way out." And then speaking of spiders, then he's like, "Well, I went to go see Spider-Man," and she said, Leslie Mann goes, "I like Spider-Man." That's another like famous knocked up line. But anyway, yeah. So it was just a TV. I guess she was scanning spiders on her Google app.
These apps and AI and everything, I'm not gonna lie, it's getting out of control. AI is on just a whole other level.
Yeah, and it's apparently like very bad for our environment too.
I don't know enough about that.
Well, we could get political.
Sure. I mean, why
so
not?
apparently these machines are like being cooled by like ocean water or something, and it's like affecting something. I don't know. But apparently every single time you like have a new quarry, like it like cools off these machines and like affects like ocean life.
So you single handedly probably are like killing all the whales and dolphins and shit.
Dude, and it's honestly it's probably like for like the dumbest shit too. Like
Yeah.
I just like I don't even go to Google anymore. I just search Chat GPT.
Okay. Interesting.
Like you should see like my quarries. Like they're
What do you
kind of insane.
on a daily basis? Like, what are you looking up? Like, is it stuff related to work, stuff that you're just curious
Never.
about? Like,
Yeah,
just
it's
shit you're
always
curious.
curiosity.
Open ChatGPT. What's the last one you've searched? I'm curious.
So there was one yesterday. I did NBA versus WWE. Like fake.
And what?
Like I searched NBA versus WWE.
What do you mean by fakeness?
I'm convinced that the NBA
Is rigged.
is as scripted as WWE is. I looked a little bit into the Carter Hart trial. Actually, one thing for work. I looked up chase rate in the MLB because I fought with an old man on Facebook.
Love that.
Possible viral infection. Home remedy for carpenter bees. Pop culture recap from 2007.
What did that say?
Oh, you want me to read through that? I was like, wow, I could not believe all of this was in the same year. So it gave me the top like movies, music. We can talk about it if you want. But
Sure. Why not? What other than the NBA draft lottery to go full circle is rigged, and the Flyers possibly hiring Rick Tocchet, and like the Eagles are going to play half their games not on Sundays. Other than that, we really have nothing else to talk about. So go into 2007 pop culture.
So all right, so
like 2007 is kind of the weird transition period. Well, you're getting out of the early 2000s, and it's I don't know. I feel like it
was a good year. I thought it was a good year.
Okay.
I thought it was a good year, especially after reading all of this. So okay, so I was 11 in 2007. Well, 10 going on 11. So like, the first half, the first quarter of the year, I was 10. Most of the year, I was 11. It was definitely like that weird like transition for me, like going from like a kid to an adult. So like everything before like 2006, like I don't remember. So like that, like 2007 is a good year for me. Like 08 was like kind of when I really like the Phillies win, and a lot went on 2008 for us around here. But so all right, so music moments.
It is funny because like it kind of lines up the similar timeline as me, where like I'm a few years older than you, but like yours is 2007 area, mine's like 2003, 2004 is kind of where I. Like anything before that, I'm like I don't remember anything.
Yeah, like I remember big like obviously like 9/11 and like
yeah, of course,
that kind of stuff. But like, all right, so music moments. "Low" by Flo Rida, T-Pain.
No, that wasn't that was 07.
Yeah. High School Musical 2 premiered.
Okay.
The Kanye versus 50 Cent album showdown.
Okay.
Paramore exploded with Riot. Misery Business was an emo anthem. That's what this says.
Misery Business is a solid jam.
Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, Panic at the Disco were peaking.
It was a big year for punk rock.
Yeah.
Or punk pop, I guess I should say.
Pop punk, yeah. Pop punk.
Yeah, pop punk.
Rap, pop music. Fergie, Timbaland, and Nelly Furtado dominated the radio. She's like kind of making a comeback.
Is she?
Yeah. All right, so TV/teen life. Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh were still running strong on Nickelodeon.
Classics.
Degrassi, The Next Generation was in its drama-filled prime.
Before Drake became a rapper.
Yes. I think that was. I think he was off the show by this point.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. The Hills was like a big thing. Laguna Beach and One Tree Hill. And
Which
the OC.
one? So which one of those are they all scripted or are they all reality TV?
Hills and Laguna Beach are reality,
Okay, that's what I thought.
and then One Tree Hill and the OC were like scripted like TV shows.
Yes.
I'm a
Oh, the-
huge OC fan, by the way. The OC.
Okay,
Great show.
my sister watches OC, so like I'm
Yes.
familiar with it. I'm
Yeah,
familiar.
my sister watched it. I was forced to watch it because my sister was older, and
Of course. Yep.
I'm sure you were forced in some.
Yeah.
Capacity.
Yeah. Pretty
But
much.
I
yes.
watched it over as like a young adult, and was like, fuck with the show. Actually, it's a great theme song too.
How many seasons did that run?
7 maybe,
Many. That many?
7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a total guess, but
I was thinking
Um,
like 3 or 4, but you're probably
no, it's more than
yeah.
that. Might not be 7 or 8, but it's definitely more than 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Internet tech culture, YouTube was becoming the place to watch funny clips, music videos, and memes. Charlie Bit My Finger, Leave Britney Alone, and Chocolate Rain all went viral in 2007.
Okay.
MySpace was where teens showed off their top 8 and blinged out profiles.
Okay.
Facebook had just opened to everyone, not just college students. So I guess 2007
huh?
was when it was available to all people, not just college students. AIM and MSN Messenger were still the teen communication HQ. I probably used AIM up until like 2010.
No, that late?
Yeah,
2010, huh?
I was young, but I was younger. So like,
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
So-
'cause I probably, I'm trying to think of when I
you
stopped
probably
using
you
that.
probably
like sophomore year of high school, probably. Maybe freshman year, honestly.
So that's probably around the time that I stopped. But
Yeah.
it was just a little bit, a few years after. I was a freshman in 2010, so it was
Right.
like probably right around the time I stopped.
Yeah, well, I was a freshman of 6, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the teen movie vibe. So Superbad, obviously, how much we love that movie.
was
Disturbia. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought
Did you
I
know
would go
it's
4 or 5.
no? Did you know that it's they're re-releasing the 4-Door Virgin later this year for the 20 years?
What does that mean? They're re-releasing it. You
They're
can watch
just re-releasing it. They're re-releasing it HD. Like
Okay.
they've touched it up a bit
I
in
got you.
theaters.
Okay.
They're re-releasing
Okay.
in theaters.
Oh, okay.
I might go see it actually. Disturbia. It's a great movie. If you
With
didn't see it.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yep,
That
Shia
is
LaBeouf.
good. That is a good movie.
Blades of Glory, Hot Rod, and I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Chuck
The
and Larry is also
goofy
good.
comedies. 300. This is Sparta. And the Simpsons movie.
Okay.
I mean, I could keep. There's only 2 more.
ChatGPT really gave you a whole rundown.
It goes in. I could ask for more too.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Gaming lifestyle. The Wii peaked in 2007.
Okay.
RuneScape, Maple Story, and Club Penguin were huge for tweens.
Club Penguin was awesome. I remember Club Penguin.
World of Warcraft, The Burning Crusade expansion dropped in January of 2007.
Okay.
Pokemon Diamond and Pearl,
Okay.
released for
I'm
Nintendo
familiar.
DS. And then just as Xbox Live Trash Talk was legendary at this time.
I mean, it probably was, honestly. 2007, yeah.
So, and then the last subject we have is slang and trends. Saying random and awkward consistently. That's random.
Awkward.
That's hot.
That's hot.
Yeah,
I guess we don't
still
always say
hanging
that
on
anymore.
from Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Epic fail or point. I don't even know what this is. Pwend?
I don't know what that is.
It's gamer lingo. Duck face selfies.
Okay.
The emo scene / culture. And Chuck Taylor's.
Okay. Random.
I mean, it also like the biggest video games: Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Guitar Hero 3, Rock Band.
Okay.
It gives you celebs and scandals. Britney Spears shaves her head. Paris Hilton goes to jail. Lindsay Lohan rehab drama. Anna Nicole Smith dies. Vanessa Hudgens photo scandal. Zac Efron and High School Musical fame explode. Yeah.
Interesting. It's a lot of
Oh,
information.
it gives you TV shows too. And
Oh,
other
hit
movies.
me with a couple TV shows.
All right. Gossip Girl, iCarly, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, The Office, Heroes, Friday Night Lights, Hannah Montana, Ugly Betty. Either popular or premiering in that year.
The Friday Night Lights was solid.
Also,
Bring that.
movies knocked up. Superbad, Juno.
Juno. Okay, here's one.
Spider-Man 3, Pirates of the Caribbean,
Spider-Man 3, that would have been
Ratatouille.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Enchanted,
Not a good movie.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix,
Okay.
No Country for Old Men, Transformers. I don't know if I said that.
Speaking
Oh
of
my
Harry Potter,
God, albums, dude. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Graduation by Kanye,
Yep.
great. Back to
Mhm.
Black, Amy Winehouse, great. Infinity on High, not their best Fall Out Boy. Because of the times, Kings of Leon, it's their third album, I believe. Their first two I like a lot better. Minutes to Midnight by Linkin Park. So,
Okay.
and then there's
pretty
one
good.
more. There's one more category, but we don't have to go through it.
What's the category?
It's just the top songs.
Give me top 5.
Umbrella,
Okay.
Crack That Soldier Boy,
I hated that song
Stronger.
by Kanye.
Yep. Hey There
Okay.
Delilah,
Solid song.
Buy You a Drink.
Okay. I don't hate that. I mean, I don't like to crank that song, but other than that, the other 4 were good.
07 was a good year.
Good year. Definitely a good year. Speaking of Harry
Who
Potter,
won the cup?
on the 07 would have been
Was that Detroit and Pittsburgh? Didn't they go? Was
I
that
think it
08
No, it was 08.
and then 09? Because they went back to. Then they played
08,
back.
08, 09. 07?
Wasn't it 07, 08, 08, 09? Or
It was 07, 08, 08, 09 was, I think, Detroit's
But then-
back-to-back years.
who's 06, 07?
05, 06, I think, was Carolina. 07. The Ducks, maybe? Ask ChatGPT who won this 2007 Stanley Cup. I want to say the Ducks. That's my first guess.
All right. Who won the?
This should be an easy answer, I would think. I think they should spit something out for you.
Oh yeah, they do it right away. It comes up right away.
Yeah.
All right,
My first
thinking.
thought
Anaheim Ducks,
is the
yep.
Ducks. It is the Ducks. Okay.
Who did they defeat?
Oh, who did they defeat? The Oilers.
5
I believe.
games. No.
No, the Oilers in the same conference. That was a dumb answer. Who did they beat in 07? 07. It wasn't Pittsburgh. New Jersey?
Nope.
Am I close? Boston? No, not Boston. Who was it?
Ottawa.
Oh, okay. I don't know that I ever would have got to Ottawa.
Can you name the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players on the Ducks that year?
I know Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer was there.
Niedermeyer was the captain.
Won
the Smythe.
Jaguar was there.
Who?
John J. What the hell's his first name? Jaguar, the goalie.
He's not listed on here.
Okay. I think he might have won the MVP. The
For the playoff?
Conn Smythe. Yeah, I believe so.
No, it was Niedermeyer.
Oh, was it Niedermeyer?
Yeah. It says captain.
Jaguar
won the
was
Conn Smythe.
he might have. Jaguar was just nasty that year. Was this too early for Getzlaff?
Getzlaff was on the team. Yep.
Okay.
He's one of them.
Korea.
Nope. I think it was Coast.
Solani.
Yep. You missed 2 big ones.
Are they known for being Ducks? Corey Perry.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Corey Perry. I should get this other one.
This guy's a Hall of Famer, or I don't know if he's in yet, but I can't imagine he's not.
What year? Like, how far did he play until? Do you know? Like, vaguely.
With the Ducks,
In
Or
the
just his
NHL, in the
career?
NHL in general.
hold on, I can look this up.
And like, when you think of this guy, you think of him as a Duck.
Not necessarily, no.
Was Bobby Ryan on this team?
No, too early. Oh, he may have been, but he's not one of the guys listed.
Mm.
I don't think he was with the Ducks too long.
I'm trying to think. Do you have his stat line pulled up? Like,
I
or
can
his
do it.
career?
Oh yeah. I'll let me look up his reference page.
I'm trying to think. What forward?
I don't think I can give you that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So this guy, if this loads. It says that the thing is not available. Hold on.
What does that mean?
It says the page wasn't available. I don't know. Okay. He's a Hall of Famer. He played 18 years in the NHL. He played for Anaheim for 1, 2, 3 seasons.
For whatever reason, my mind's going to one player. But
he's-
I don't remember him with Anaheim. It's not Pronger, is it?
It's Chris Pronger.
Chris
Yeah.
Pronger. Okay.
Yep. I was gonna say he's known for being with one team.
Yes.
You'd say St. Louis, but like,
For whatever, my mind doesn't go to Chris Pronger with the Ducks. But
yeah, he
I
was
went
there.
eventually.
06, 07, 07, 08, 08, 09.
Yeah. So anyway, 07, good year. But back to you said Harry Potter. So
Yeah.
that reminds me, I just started playing because it's like free on the PlayStation Store. I started playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
Do you dabble in Harry Potter? Do you fuck with Harry Potter?
I fuck heavy with Harry Potter. I
Okay.
do not fuck heavy with the game.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I tried for a while.
Okay.
It's just not for me. I'm just not that person that like has to check like every nook and cranny
Yeah.
to like get coin or whatever they were like to gain like whatever.
Yeah.
That's just not my style of game.
So far, I mean, I'm early in it. It's so far. I mean, it seems pretty cool, but it's getting a little to the point a little bit where like there's too many cutscenes. Like, it seems like I'm watching a Harry Potter movie. I want to play a
Yeah.
game. I don't want to watch a movie. If I want to watch a movie, I just turn on a movie.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Just figured
Yeah.
I'd say that as an aside.
Yeah, I have it on my external hard drive.
Okay.
Because my Xbox doesn't have enough space because it's a fucking gigantic game.
Start saving up for a bigger external hard drive when GTA 6
Yep.
comes out. Because
I sure will be.
300 gigs. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that, but
300 gig
I'm
game.
so pissed they pushed it back even further.
Yeah, what was it? So I don't remember ever seeing an exact date.
They said late
March?
summer, early fall of 2025, and now they pushed it back. Supposedly, I don't think they really came out with a date.
Yeah, they
Because-
did. May 26th of
I was just
2026.
saying.
Yeah.
I thought it was May or June.
It's May, I think 20. I want to say 26th. I could have
Okay.
that wrong, but of 2026. But before they pushed it back, I don't remember ever seeing an actual date.
I think they were
before that.
aiming. I don't think there was anything like. I don't think there was any like concrete.
The
set
trailer
date, but
looks incredible.
But they were hoping for September.
The trailer looks ridiculous.
Dude, the other day
I'm excited for it.
I showed my wife like a clip of it real quick,
Yeah,
and she was like, "Oh, what is that?" And I'm like, "That's
she probably
GTA
thought it was
6."
a movie.
Yeah, she was like, "I thought that was like a show."
Yeah, it's
She, I thought they were
ridiculous.
real people.
Yeah, it looks nuts.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Um,
fun.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, the Sixers had a little more luck than the Flyers did in the lottery. Move
Yeah.
up one spot, get the third pick.
2 spots, I think,
um,
right?
I thought there
No,
was
no,
4.
no.
right?
I think there were 5.
Was
Believe
it
there were
5?
5. Yeah, I believe there were 5
I don't know why I
because
thought 4.
because I think it's a top 6 protected. So, I think they moved up 2 and the Flyers moved back 2, right?
The Flyers
what it
moved back too, yeah, but I could have swore the Sixers were at for 4.
I'm pretty sure they were 5. I could be wrong. I thought the Flyers were at 4, the Sixers were at 5.
Hold on, let me look, see if I can find this. No, I mean, not that it's all that important.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah.
doesn't say on here. Whatever. But
Well, can you
yeah,
look at the
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you're right, 5. Okay. never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, they moved up 2.
Utah, Washington, Charlotte, New Orleans, Sixers. Yeah, right. So it went from 5 to 3. So who kind of? Oh, first of all, I guess before we talk about that, the NBA is rigged, right? I know you said this a little earlier that you're convinced it's more
ChatGPT
scripted than the
confirmed.
WWE.
Yeah.
Did they? Okay, I know.
No,
we
they
don't want to
didn't.
go.
No, they didn't.
Okay, I was gonna
No,
say
I'm
I
just
know we don't
kidding.
want to go to did done the whole too bad with ChatGPT, but I was curious what was their thought on the on the
It's
NBA
kind of like the
rig.
basic like response where it's like, well, there's nothing proving that you
Right,
know
yeah.
blah blah blah, but it is a little concerning with, and they give you like facts, basically like, and I knew this already. I was gonna bring this up, but like the fact that like, you know, the Pelicans get the #1 pick the year that they trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. You
Mhm.
know, when they,
Yep.
I don't think that they had. I don't think it was as bad as what Dallas, because I think it was Dallas like the 14th best odds or
something like that,
or somewhere around there. They had like a 1.8% chance to getting #1 or 1.5 chance. It wasn't as bad as that or egregious as that, but like that year was like they probably didn't deserve the #1 pick. They get the #1 pick. Like, it was just kind of like saying like it's a little suspicious, but nothing like will come out and it
I
doesn't
mean,
come
it is a
out
little
right.
suspicious that you trade your star franchise player to the Lakers, and then they just gift you the number
I don't
one
think it's
pick.
suspicious at all. I think it's obvious as fuck.
All right, fair. Yeah, I guess it's fair. I guess they're not even trying to hide it either.
Well, yeah. I'm just curious because like if you're Nico Harrison, like the GM, and you're the owner in Dallas, you're all these people in Dallas, and they make the play in game, right? If you, I mean, like you got to tell them, like you got to tell the coaches and stuff, like you got to lose, like you can't make the playoffs, like because then we're not getting the number one pick because you're not in the draft lottery. So like
Yeah,
unless they force a trade with another, whoever
which
has the
it
number one
is
pick.
kind of wild. Like you shouldn't make the play-in tournament or make the playing games and be able to have the number one pick. Like in my, I know they don't want to say they're playoff games, but if you make the play, you expand the playoffs. If you make the play-in
But I think they
tournament,
do call them playoff games, don't they?
I thought so. So like, why are you in those games and you can get the number one pick?
I guess
Why
because
are you in the lottery?
yeah, I don't know. It's like a weird.
That's why. I mean, that's why I
Thing.
know the NHL is flawed, but that's why I like how they do it, where you can like the non-playoff teams are technically in the lottery, but even if you just miss the playoffs by a point or whatever, you're in the lottery, but you can only move up 10 spots. So say you have the 15th best odds and you somehow miraculously win the lottery, you don't get the first pick, you would get 5.
Right.
You can only move up 10 spots. So this way something like the Dallas thing just can't happen.
Well, I think that. Listen, I think the NHL. I think all the leagues are somewhat rigged. In favor to help some teams, but like the
There's
NBA is the
biases for
most
sure.
rigged.
Yep.
The NBA is the most rigged, and it's just a way for them to keep just enough to where they say, okay, what's it? The top 4 teams or the top 5 teams get the same number of
Yeah.
amount of odds or same. So I think it's just enough for them to say, well, you can't fully tank, but we have just enough influence and power to do what we want, and that's why they do it that way.
Yep.
So I think them changing for the better is not good. Better for them.
Wasn't there a really big scandal with the NBA in like the 90s or something or 80s, like involving the Knicks? I forget who draft lottery wise they got.
Was it the Patrick Ewing?
Maybe it might have been.
I think it was something. I think it may have been that the Knicks shouldn't have gotten the number 1 pick and they did, and Patrick Ewing back then, like if you were a big man, like you were getting taken number 1, if you're the best player, one of the better players in the world, like Jordan went, I think it was the year before or 2 years before, went what 5th or 6th overall. Like Hakeem went number 1, and like now you look back on it, Hakeem is a generational player, an all-time player, but it's Michael fucking Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, but back then they just believed that the bigger you were, the better chance, the better player you were going to be, and because it was a game underneath the rim.
Yeah.
So I guess they just felt like Patrick Ewing going to New York was the best thing for the game, just like Luka going to LA or whoever else goes to these big cities. I can't think of anybody, but
yeah.
But I just think, and again, like I as much as the Sixers piss me off, I really want them to be good, and I really want them to succeed, and I want them to make the right decisions. But like, and again, this is just because Dallas gets the number 1 pick. I'm thrilled that the Sixers get the 3rd pick because they were supposed to get the 5th pick, or the odds were that they were they had the 5th best odds. But like, this is not me bitching about the Luka trade and Dallas getting the number 1 pick is not me bitching about the Sixers not getting the number 1 pick. But at the same token, like I think the Sixers did everything right? Like they went out, they signed Paul George. Whether that's the right move or the wrong move, it was probably the only move. They go out, they draft McCain, they develop him early in the year. He looks like the early favorite to win Rookie of the Year. They really fuck up. Yeah, but then they really fuck up Embiid, and they really fuck up Paul George, and Maxey gets hurt for the year, and they did everything right. They didn't tank, right? They didn't do anything that they would have done 10 years ago. And bringing in Paul George, a bona fide star, maybe not the same player he was a few years ago, but like I just think they did everything that they were supposed to do, and it's like, when are you gonna reward them? Like, not reward them, but like, when are you gonna give them a shot? And
Yeah.
I guess it's just more of a slap in the face because then Dallas gets the number 1 pick.
Well, maybe the Sixers would have got the number 1 pick if they traded Joel Embiid to the Lakers.
Well,
Or
I would agree. I would agree with that. I would agree with that if the Dallas Mavericks called any other team, but they only called one team.
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse.
Yep.
The conspiracy, or confirms it even more.
Yeah. So that leaves us with the 3rd pick, and I was curious if there's anybody that you have your eye on, and I've seen kind of a top 3 projected picks, and I don't understand. And you might have saw my tweet. I don't understand how 2 of the top 3 picks. Go ahead.
Before we go into that, I do want to say, also at the same time, they could have gotten it. Could have went way worse. Like you're saying, they had the 3rd pick. They could have fallen out of the top 5 or 6 and lost their pick, and now we're really in fucking purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a lot worse at the same time. I just think I would feel a lot better about it if they're picking 3rd, or even if they picked 4th, and Dallas was not picking number 1.
Yeah,
but
because it just feels slimy.
It's so slimy.
Yeah,
and like it's been like this for the last.
And also, if it was Dallas and they had this 6th or 7th or 8th best odds, you're like, all right, it happens. It sucks. Sure. It seems a little fishy, but whatever. It's the fact that they had next to 0 odds and still somehow won it. Yeah, that's the thing I think is a little slimy. But so you probably saw my tweet or post, whatever you call it now on X. I've seen some projections and mock drafts, and I don't understand how 2 of the top 3 picks can play at the same school, and that school doesn't even sniff at the tournament. Like, they didn't make the tournament; they were below 500.
They were close. No, they were close to the tournament. They
still didn't make it though. I guess
no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Are you now? Because I kind of figured you were going to bring this up. So my question to you is, what exactly are you questioning?
I'm questioning:
are they worth? Are one of these guys worth taking? Are they worth going in the top 3 because they didn't make the tournament?
I think I think it's concerning because I want winners. And when you have 2 of the guys that are supposed to be above the rest of this incoming class, how does that team not at least make the tournament? I'm not asking for them to go on a run, but just make the like that was the big criticism when Ben Simmons was coming out of the draft.
It's different.
How's it different? It's one guy, not 2.
Because
one guy.
Because Ben Simmons played in a weaker conference at that time. Also, Ben Simmons was viewed to be the next LeBron. He was the number 1 pick. He was a guy that when he was able to shoot in college. Like he was a shooter in college.
But he didn't make his team good enough to make a tournament. And when you're the best player at your position, in the supposedly the league, you should make your team better. And I think it turns out Ben Simmons, stone cold loser.
For sure, absolutely. But there are guys who go in the top 5 that are very good players that don't make the tournament all the time.
Sure. So I just don't understand how 2 guys that are supposed to be that good don't make the tournament. Like, that's just weird to me.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. How much college basketball do you watch? Have you watched?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. The tournament.
Their depth was putrid this year.
Yeah, but do you see do you see teams 63 and 64 that make the tournament?
But that's the thing is, like, the bottom 10 seeds probably don't deserve to there anyway. Like, remember how we were talking about how, like, remember we were naming the colleges like earlier this year back in March,
sure,
like, where it was located, like, oh my God, that school made it from the middle of Iowa. Like, those teams probably beat their teams in a lower conference, like in a like Rutgers is in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is not great in college basketball. They have a couple teams that are good. There are teams that are beating There are teams that are in lower conferences, like lower rated conferences, that are winning games that the committee feels like they should probably be there because they've dominated their conference. They're probably not going to do much in the tournament, but you put them there to reward them because they've done so well in their conference. With that being said, I it's just, you know, if you watch these teams, most of these games are nail biters, right? Like, there is so much more depth on the teams that have made the tournament this year. Like, Rutgers had zero depth. After those two guys, they were putrid. I don't know how those guys actually wind up going to Rutgers. My guess is probably this is the effects of paying college athletes. Is, you know,
Sure, I'm sure
Rutgers was just able to kind of pay more than other schools. Maybe these guys just felt more at home at Rutgers. Like, I don't know. I've seen some. I'm not saying you, but I've seen people say, like, well, why do you choose Rutgers over Duke? And, like, you know, these big schools where you could go out and win, and it's like that's where they felt comfortable. And, like, why? Like, we just celebrated how Quinyon Mitchell did not leave Toledo to go to Alabama because he was comfortable somewhere and he wanted to stay somewhere to be committed. And that's what you could say the same thing about these guys, right? Like, they just went somewhere to play basketball because this is where they were comfortable. They were 2 games under 500. They almost won the Big Ten championship. If they won the Big Ten championship, they probably make the tournament. They just didn't win. Their depth is terrible. Their coach is not very good. It's just, you know, it's a one and done thing. Like, you know, I think a lot of these kids, and they may be part of it, is this is just to get me to the next spot, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not winners or they're not going to be good. They may suck. I don't know, but, like, I'm not as concerned about that.
I don't know.
About
It's
the decision. About the decision.
Sure, and if it was just one, yeah, I don't care about where they go to school, whatever they made the decision, that's fine. Like, but if it was just one of them, you know, it's separate school. Like, it's the fact that they're both on the same team and they can't make that team somewhat of a winner, like a winning record, tournament stat, like anything, nothing.
Yeah, I just don't think it's as big of a deal as you do. Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, I could probably pull up a list of guys, ChatGPT, of guys that have not that have been picked in the top 5 that have missed the NCAA tournament, and these guys aren't, like, great players probably either. Like, it you know, it takes one guy. It's that whole thing, like Vic Fangio, right? Like Vic Fangio never beats Patrick Mahomes until he does. So,
sure.
Like, they may not be great players until they're one day is like a great player that gets picked in the top 5 and misses the tournament. Lillard was the number 6 overall pick, didn't make the tournament.
Okay. It's not a third pick, but it's still a high pick. But go ahead.
Sure. Same with Chris Kaman. Chris Kaman was a nice player. Sharp from, what do you call it? Portland. Really good shooter. He's a starter. I believe Kentucky made the tournament, but he was out. He didn't play. He was hurt.
Okay.
Anthony Simons, very, very, very good player. Did not make the tournament. Jalen Green, another one. He didn't play college, though. He didn't play college basketball.
Yeah,
he played in the G League.
Yeah.
So, like,
it doesn't happen as often as you think, though. Like,
and also, like, it's the other way around too. It's like, how do you view Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant's one of the greatest players that's ever played. You could argue he's the greatest scorer ever.
Yeah,
like,
but I've heard these comparisons. You can't compare these guys to Kevin Durant.
No. I'm not comparing him to Kevin Durant. I'm saying, where do you view Kevin Durant? Like, he's a great player, right? Like, I know he's got his problems mentally, but, like, seriously, like, he's one of the greatest players ever.
Sure. At one point, he was a top 2 player in the league. He probably isn't that anymore. But
he might have been the number. There may be a year or two in there that he was the best player in the league.
Sure. Yeah.
You could also say he was the number 2 seed and lost in the first round in the tournament. Yeah. Look what a career he's had. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not so black and white.
I think it's a little different though. Like, any team can, like, it's a 1-game elimination. But, like, when you miss the tournament, you have a whole season to
but they
prove
missed it.
why you belong there.
They also by 1 game. Like,
you had all season.
If they win, I understand, but, like, at the same time, you have all season. You have this all season to get to this game to beat a 15 seed as a 2 seed, and you lose.
Sure.
I'm just saying it's you know, I just don't think the tournament's everything.
No, it gauges to me a little bit. You know, I guess.
No, if you want to say,
and
if you want to say, I got you. But if you want to say, and I think it is crazy, like it's something we haven't really seen like much of. But if you want to say like this kid Ace Bailey has some problems where he probably didn't play much at the end of games at times. He's probably a little bit of a liability on defense. Like if you want to say those things, like okay, I hear you, man. Like I get that. I'm with you. The kid could shoot. He looks like he can get to the rim. Looks like a good teammate. But he has some flaws. He's going to be the number 3 pick. He's probably going to have a little bit more flaws than the number 1 pick, and the number 5 pick's probably going to have a little bit more flaws than him. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't put all my stock in that or like much stock into that. But I just think the big difference between Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz was there were 2 guys that were supposed to change the franchise. This guy's supposed to come in and just he's got a little bit of a different role as those guys probably did. He's coming in to be the 5th guy. Or 4th guy. 4th and 5th guy.
I don't know that Ben Simmons was supposed to save the franchise.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was the number 1 pick, sure, but
LeBron.
Yeah. First of all, I don't know who was ever saying that.
He was
That's
viewed.
idiotic.
He was viewed
It's
that way.
dumb. It's dumb.
Well, now it's easy to say.
Yes, it's dumb. But he
But
also
back
wasn't.
then it
He also wasn't the first guy that they picked high in the draft. That like, all right, we finally got the guy. Like, they had a team and they were just hoping that Simmons completed it, and he just didn't.
No, they didn't. They lost 10 games that year.
No,
I mean, they won 10 games the year that
Am
they
I thinking
drafted
of a
him.
different year? I think I'm thinking of a different year. But they didn't have they had Embiid already, right? Embiid went before Simmons.
Embiid, yes, but he missed the first.
He was hurt.
years.
He was hurt the first couple years.
Yeah, his rookie year was his rookie year was Ben Simmons.
That's right.
What was supposed to be Ben Simmons' rookie year.
Yes. But I still
So you
don't
didn't know what Embiid was.
Sure, yeah. But I never looked at, and maybe because again I'm not the biggest Sixers fan in the world, but like I didn't look at Ben Simmons as the savior. I never really did. A hopeful,
I
sure.
mean, you were supposed to have 2 top 10 players in the league.
Sure. Yeah.
You were supposed to, and he was a part of that. He was a part of saving the franchise. Him and Embiid were supposed to be the 2 guys that were supposed to come in. It was supposed to be Embiid. Oh my God, this 7'3" guy can actually shoot a little bit, and he could get to the line, and he could hit free throws, and he kind of plays like Olajuwon a little bit. And then you had Ben Simmons, where it was like, oh my God, this guy's a facilitator. Like he can also shoot a little. He's kind of like LeBron. He's not the greatest shooter, but he's willing to shoot, and he hits some shots sometimes. Like they were supposed to be viewed as 2 top 10 players that were supposed to save this franchise, to change this franchise after that period of terrible basketball.
Yeah. Follow-up question. So Cooper Flag's going 1 to Dallas. I think we can all kind of pencil him in there.
I've seen some stuff today. Like they were like,
no.
Well, I'm saying like, what if Nico Harrison like just shocks the world and just doesn't take him? And I'm like,
no.
Like it's
Like
even if he doesn't want him, even if he doesn't want him,
right,
you can't not take him.
Especially trading.
That's what I mean.
Luka, like, honestly, the fact that he hasn't gotten hired already or fired already for that trade makes me even confirm further that it's rigged. Because then, like, hey, we'll keep you around. You're getting the number 1 pick. Have fun.
And listen, I don't trade Luka Doncic, but like, there are concerns about Luka, right? Like,
sure,
like. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Carmelo, where it's like he's not a one-trick pony like Carmelo. Carmelo was just like an ISO one-on-one mid-range guy. He was very good at it, one of the best.
Sure,
but like didn't play defense. Neither does Luka. Or I don't want to say Luka can't play defense. He just struggles. He tries. He really does try. He's just not very good at it. But Luka is definitely a better like facilitator, and he's like a 30, 10, and 10 guy. Like 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Would I trade that from on my team? No, I would keep Luka. I don't give a shit about the defense. Go out and get somebody that can play defense. Like go get a 3-and-D guy. Go get a guy that's going to lock up the other team's best player, because like it's just not going to be Luka. But Luka's could go out there and give you 60 tonight, like 50.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. And the NBA is a league where you just got to score points. You worry about the defense. Have role players to play defense. Like
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think you need your star player to play defense.
Not all the time. Sometimes, not in certain scenarios. And I think Luka is a certain scenario where you don't like. Who cares? Like, who cares that he doesn't play defense? Like, go out and get 2 guys cheap.
Especially
could
because
just
it's not
lock
like he's on
down-
the back nine of his career. He's like 25 or some shit. Right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like,
So like, if there are concerns there, like the reports are like, and I don't know how true or not this is, but like, the owners were not too like thrilled with Luka anymore. They were worried that like eventually he was gonna leave because like they've been telling him for so long, like you have to get in shape, you have to, blah blah blah. Like, and he's eventually gonna get fed up and leave anyway.
Wasn't it Luka where there was like a clip where like he was drinking a beer and the owner like came out and took it out of his hand?
Yeah, I think that was when they went to the finals last year.
Yeah. Like let the guy have fun. Like
I think that was the GM. I think that was Nico Harrison.
Was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was the owner. Maybe it was that. Okay,
it might have been. For some reason I thought it was the GM, but you could be right. But yeah, that was when they won the Western Conference Finals, I believe.
Yeah.
He had a beer.
Right. Yes. He's not he's not shotgunning it either. He's not drinking from the vodka bottle. Like he's having a beer. Like MLB would lose their minds over what happens after winning a wild card game in the MLB.
Here we go.
But anyway, so back to my question. So Cooper Fly's going 1. We can pencil him in there. I don't care what anybody says. He's going number 1. If you had your choice, who would you prefer to be there at 3? Who would you take at 3? Or is it too early to? Do you need to?
Yeah,
come back to this later?
I would say we probably have to come back to this later, but it's hard because I think so. It depends how you want your team to go. Like, is Maxey going to be the guy with the ball? Which I don't think he should be. I think he is just as effective, maybe not, if not even more, off the ball. I think he's a guy that can catch and shoot. I think he's a guy that can catch and create his own shot. I don't think he's the best facilitator in the world. I think there are worse, but I think that if they really want to compete, I think they have to get a little bit better there. So like, I think it depends. I think if Dylan Harper is there, who's a guard, who's a good facilitator, if he gets drafted, you bring him in. I think he automatically slots into your number 1. Maxey's your number 2. George is your number 3. Maybe Yabusele comes back on a cheap deal. He's your 4, and Embiid's your 5.
Or you sign somebody to be the 4.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. If they go Bailey, I think you're looking at Maxey at the 1, Grimes at the 2, George at the 3, Bailey at the 4, or like vice versa. And then Embiid at the 5, and then you have McCain come off the bench.
Yep.
I think that's their best bet anyway, is him coming off the bench. But it's just so hard to play 2 really small guys next to each other, like Lillard and McCollum.
Yeah, but he was so good last year. Like
he was very good.
Stick him on the bench,
but at the same time, like he's got to do it again.
Sure. Yeah.
And also, there's no reason to like kind of push him into that role. Not that he's not ready, but like I'm just a huge fan of guys that stick to their role, and when you stick to the role, you win championships, or you get close.
And you want to develop them correctly instead of feeding them a ton of minutes early on.
Which I will say, last year, like they started off with him off the bench. They gave him good minutes off the bench, and he just proved to be like
deserved it
and deserved to
he
start.
Earned it. Yeah.
Start. I just can't view myself seeing. Or I just can't view the Sixers being a real competitor with those 2 guys starting.
Yeah.
But I also am very interested, like, not even just so much Sixers, but like, is there a chance that Dallas, I know they said today that they're not going to trade it, but like, is there a chance that they trade that? Because there are some hypothetical things that they could do. There were some talks today. Would you trade Maxey and your number 1 pick to move up to number 1?
Nope. Again, full disclosure, I have not watched a whole lot of college basketball. But from the little I've seen of Cooper Flag, I'm not convinced he's going to be all that good.
I don't know what he's going to be, because I thought Chet Holmgren was going to stink, and he looks very good in the NBA right now. I think Cooper Flag was good in college. I don't know what he's going to be. I don't know if he's the number 1 pick or going to live up to be the number 1 pick. Is he? I think he's going to be. I think his basement is like NBA player. I don't know if that means coming off the bench or being just like a 5th guy on a team or being the star. I'm not sure. But I do think he's going to be an NBA player. Because he does have size. He could shoot. He's
right, but I'm not trading Maxey for just an NBA player.
Well, but that's the thing, is you don't know.
Sure.
So like what if he becomes a top 5 player?
Well, yeah, but you can't make
Like,
trades in
what I-
hindsight, like.
But that's the thing is like we know it. Like this is Max's ceiling. What you're seeing right now.
Sure, yeah. This is who he is.
He is. I don't even think he's a number 2 personally. I think he's. If you have him as your number 3, I think you're in a really, really good spot. And right now, he's just their number 2. And their number 1 can't stay healthy. And their number 4 can't. Or right now, their number 3
Well, their whole lineup
would slot in their number 4. What's that?
So their whole lineup couldn't stay healthy last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying Embiid and George have historically not been healthy.
Sure, yeah.
So you can't just bank on they're going to be healthy next year, like because especially with Embiid, like is this it? Like is he going to ever be the same player? So I don't know if I do that, but there was another discussion today. Would you trade Maxey and the number 1 pick for Giannis?
How old is Giannis? 27, 26?
30?
Is he that old?
28? Maybe he's probably not 30. He's probably like 28, 29.
And because I think he's got 1 year left, or he's a free agent. That's including an extension.
2020. I think it's 2029.
Okay. My short answer is yes.
So I don't.
I love Giannis.
I can't stand him.
I really like him. I don't know why. I just really do.
I think he's the biggest fraud. I don't give a shit about his stupid interviews.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
I don't
something
care about
about something about him I like. I can't. I don't know why. I just like.
Yeah,
him.
I think he is one of the biggest douchebags in the league.
Really?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I don't want him. Like, if you can go on YouTube and like look up like Giannis like asshole moments, and like it'll be like a 10-minute video, and you'll just be like,
yeah,
wow,
but I think this team might need a little asshole in them.
Not that type of asshole. Like the type of asshole to get in somebody's face in a game.
Yeah,
sure.
And
I'm
don't know
in.
that he is that, but
He's not.
Yeah.
Also, you want to talk about losers? The guy won a championship and checked out.
Yep.
He won his championship. He checked out. Can't I think they've only made it past the first round one time since they won.
Yep. You check out in Milwaukee too. What the fuck's up in Milwaukee?
What do you mean?
There's nothing up there. You check out too.
Oh, I mean, but that should be ever more the reason to fucking focus. I'm just saying, you're the 1 seed the 1 year, they get swept by the 8 seed.
No, sure. No, I get the
That's
concern,
a
but
concern.
there's something about them I really like.
5-6 years ago, I was with you, but like, I don't know, man. Doesn't do anything for me anymore.
So you wouldn't trade
that's
Maxey
really
in
the
1-1?
reason. I would try. I'm not. You know me. I love Maxey, but you also know that I've been vocal about. I would move him for the right piece.
Sure.
I just don't think that's the right piece. I don't think Giannis is the right piece, especially on this team. Like, especially if Embiid's going to be here, you need somebody. That was the biggest issue with Ben Simmons, right? Like, you got a guy that clogs the lane too much. You got guys that play the same position, like not the same position, but in the same spot.
Sure.
That's what Giannis does.
Yep. Yeah, it's true.
So, and I don't know that Milwaukee would even do that anyway.
I guess it depends on where they're kind of at. And he's probably gone. Like I don't think
I don't think he's there next year. I think they trade him.
Well, you probably, but I'm saying even if they don't trade him, like long term, he's not gonna like. If they don't trade him before the contract's over, like he's gone regardless. I think.
So his contract is 28-29. That's his
2 more seasons.
So 28 is 3 more. So 28-29. The 2028 off season is his off season. So he's got 25,
Okay.
26,
All right.
26, 27. But then 27, 28 is a player option.
Okay, and he's probably gonna leave and go get paid somewhere.
He'll be 31 next year.
Okay, he's older than I thought.
You want to know how much his cap hit is every year?
Basketball's gotten so ridiculous with 65 million. Is it higher or lower?
For 25, 26?
Yeah,
It's lower.
45.
No, it's more than that. It's 54.
Okay, I wasn't that far up by 65.
54, 58, and then the final year with the player option is 62. Almost 63.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
But that's.
He's a great player, though. I mean, I don't think you can deny he's a great player.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
All right,
the 2013 draft, but
2013. I didn't really see he got drafted that long ago.
took him. I mean, but that's the thing is like some of these guys, man, like, and it might be with this kid that whether either one that the Sixers take. It's
And-
sometimes it takes guys 3 or 4 years.
Sure,
It's
and I know
like
you-
hockey. It's like hockey with centers.
Sure,
Like,
yeah,
it
yeah.
takes them 2, 3, 4 years.
And I know you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, like, and you don't really care about their decision to go to Rutgers, but at the same time, you look at a history of NBA players that were drafted out of Rutgers. It's not a good list.
No, probably not.
Not a good list.
No,
So I don't know if.
but again, it's more than just
with that.
basketball. Like it's I think that's also like a thing to view too. Like if you sit down, if you're the Sixers front office or Dallas or who has the second pick? What was it? The Spurs.
Is it the Spurs?
I don't know. I think it's the Spurs. If you're one of these teams and you sit down and interview these guys and you say, well, "Why do you go to Rutgers? They're not very good." You know, they don't have much depth. You know that there aren't many players that come out of Rutgers that succeed. Why would you go to Rutgers? And a part of the answer is, well, that's just where I felt at home. That's just where I felt like I wanted to play basketball. I felt like that this place was calling me. Like those are also positives off the court. Like those are
is
the
the
guys
Spurs,
you
by the way.
also okay. Those are the things that you want to hear from guys off the court. Maybe those are the reasons. Is what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could disagree. That's fine. It's
I would be curious to hear that. Like again, I don't necessarily care about their decision, but I just look at it's the same reason why like, and maybe this isn't as good of an example because the last couple of years, the players out of the NFL draft have been a little bit better. But like, it's why I don't pick like Ohio State quarterbacks. Like for some reason, it just doesn't work.
well, I mean,
It just doesn't.
it's worked the last few years, but
That's why I said the last couple
Yeah.
I kind of throw away. But before the last couple of years, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know, you pick a player out of Rutgers, it just doesn't sound right. Something about it just doesn't sound right.
I know. But like, would you take a player out of Weber State?
Out of who?
Weber State?
No, probably not. But I'm sure you're going to give me a name of somebody who came
Damian
out of
Lillard?
State. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Would you take a guy out of I don't know. Ohio State for basketball.
The right player, maybe. We'll see.
All right, Evan Turner. Like he sucked. Like you know what I mean? Like
Nah.
it's I just don't
Sure, no, it
think-
can work both ways.
What
I
about-
get what you're saying.
yeah, like
I get
So-
what you're saying. But I just still a concern of mine. Like I just look at the list of players
I'm not saying you're
drafted out of
totally,
Rutgers.
I'm not saying
and
you're
it's just-
totally-
it's not a good
I'm not
list.
saying you're totally wrong or totally off with that. I hear you. But I don't know. I just think if he's the right fit, you do what you do. You know,
Yep.
do what you got to do. Who knows? Maybe they trade it.
I don't know if they'll trade it. Oh, what would you trade back?
Oh
Trade for
no, I would.
next
I
year?
would just play for a player.
A
Like,
player.
if the guy's available.
I don't know if you're getting a player that's going to be like game changing enough. I don't know.
Well, I'm saying if somebody views these
Sure.
guys, these guys are viewed very high. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't really want Durant, but I'm saying like Phoenix is probably a team that's gonna try to load off some money. So there are teams that are going to try to look to get younger, better, and load off some money that could potentially think, "Hey, we'll give you a player."
Yeah.
I don't know what those teams would be, but
Yeah. All right, we can move on.
yes,
So we talked about it last week about Andrew Painter's debut. He dealt obviously he was really good as his debut. We talked a little bit about his pitch count and what they were going to limit to him. Did you hear about what Thompson said?
they're going to bring him up when
To
he's around like 90 or 95
90, yeah.
pitches.
So he's not going to be
Okay.
on much of a pitch count. when he
So
gets up
so
here.
there goes our whole conversation from
Yes,
last week.
yes, exactly. Although I have heard, I think I might have heard Thompson talk about it, like himself, about a 6-man rotation. Like that might happen.
I think if they do that, you kind of, I think you kind of see what I said last week. I think everybody's on that 6-man, and I think Wheeler just pitches every fifth game.
fifth day, yeah, or every fifth
Yeah.
game, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I'm excited to see him. Like I don't know. I think right now How many pitches did he throw that debut? Like 50?
I think it was 60. It
was that
60
high?
or 65. Or maybe that's what he's going to be at this next start.
Yeah.
But I thought it was
Yeah,
60 or 65.
I don't know when he's gonna come up. Like, can we expect him before June? I don't know, but maybe like the middle, maybe like middle of June, something like that, early mid June. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to watch him.
I will be very upset. So I'm going to Hawaii in the end of June, early July. So like
Okay.
June 29th
Yes.
to like July 6th or something, or
Okay.
5th. I will be very, very upset.
If it happens while you're there.
Yeah.
Well,
I will be like 6 hours. I think 6 hours behind.
I was about to say, yeah,
But like,
6 hours
but
behind.
still, like, I might be doing something that I'll never be able to do.
Yeah, you're not gonna, especially because like it's not like you would be in the middle of the night where you got nothing going on anyway. You can
Right.
watch
It's not
it.
like the Super Bowl either.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, but it's probably gonna be like what, noon, like noon o'clock your time. Like you're out doing a whole bunch of other shit in
Right.
fucking Hawaii. Like,
Right.
but you never. I think it'll happen before that.
You think?
Yeah,
All right.
I do.
I'm trusting you.
I do.
I'm gonna put
I've-
all my
I've-
eggs in that basket.
Because we're on May 13th. I think it happens like the first or second week of June.
I mean, we're close to that.
Yeah. So like another month. Give them 2 or 3 more starts down there, and see what happens.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
All right.
Yeah. And is there any real topic you want to talk about with the Phillies? They're winning games. They got the postponed tonight. Doubleheader tomorrow.
My wife is going with her class tomorrow.
Is she?
Yeah.
They're not staying for both games, right?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say
'Cause
God
tomorrow was
forbid.
it was already a scheduled 1 o'clock
Right.
game.
Yes. I debated taking the kids tomorrow, but I don't know that I'm going to because
Yeah,
I
because I
debated
think it's
calling
supposed
out
to be
of
shitty too.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So tomorrow's like the weather thing that they do every year, like the weather lesson.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
So she got them to sign up, and like
Nice.
the whole class has got, like, even the kids she doesn't teach, like all the whole grade is going. So like all the teachers
How many
are
kids is
going.
that?
So
And they're great.
if I told you 10 or if I told you 400, I wouldn't be able to tell. You know.
Ask ChatGPT how many. Yeah.
Yeah. How many students does my wife have?
Yes.
But yeah, so she's worried that they're gonna cancel the game tomorrow because of the weather. Like the weather thing that they do in the morning is like usually outside, but they said that they do it inside somewhere. I don't know where.
Okay.
If the weather is not cooperating at that time. So she's worried that she's gonna get sent back to school and have to work. So,
That'd be a bummer.
yeah.
That'd be a bummer. So yeah, I don't think there's not really a whole lot to really discuss about the Phillies. It's just kind of keep. Yeah, Andrew Painter is really the only thing, other than like, I'm worried about Bryce Harper. I'll say that. I know for a couple games, looked like he was going to start putting it together. Now he's kind of back down. He got a new cut, a new fresh cut. Looks awful on him, by the way, but
I only saw it with the hat on.
I
in
didn't
the
like
back.
it. I didn't like it. I'm just used to him having the flow.
Yeah, I mean it's you know, the Friday and Saturday game I thought he looked okay. Sunday and the game Monday not so good. But like somebody pointed it out, he was horrible last year at this time last year. So like
Sure.
you know, let's give it a couple more weeks. I think he really turned it on in like June last year. And then he kind of fell off a little bit and then had a tear in like late August into September.
Do you ever consider moving him down the lineup or status quo? He bats where he bats. And that's
No, I think he bats where he bats, at least for now.
Yeah.
I say that he probably lost a step? Yeah, probably. But I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so too. He's the kind of player he is. He's a streaky player.
He also, like, the Cleveland series, they were saying he's like a 159, I think, career hitter in Cleveland. Like, so like it's just a combination of like just not really like a place he plays well to begin with,
Yeah.
and he's also slumping. So like, you know,
Sure. Yeah. All right. The other thing is, it sounds like the Flyers are hiring Rick Tocchet, so we'll see.
You sound thrilled.
I'm not. It's like listen,
That was sarcasm.
yeah, yes, it could work out. Nobody really knows how these coaches work out until
Yeah.
they get have a career or whatever. But I'm skeptical, and
I think it's
and
fair.
it's also not confirmed yet. So it's just kind of the
Yeah, right.
report or the rumor. But I have my,
Is
I'm
this
skeptical.
reporter
also.
credible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was reading the texts today in the group chat.
It's just like Tocchett's never really done anything in his career to like warrant this much hype and this, this
Sure.
many job opportunities and it's funny because like usually when something happens,
Will this be his third head coaching gig?
Arizona, Vancouver. Yes, he was in Tampa, but I think he as an assistant. I don't think he was the head coach there in Tampa.
Okay. Is that his most recent job or?
His most recent job was Vancouver.
Okay.
But like you look at it's funny because like when something happens in among Flyers, and if anything happens with the Flyers fans are torn about it. There's either a group of fans that love it, a group of fans that hate it, and kind of infighting within Flyers fans. It seems like nobody's on board with this hire. Like you talk to the analytical people, they don't like it. You talk to the old school Broad Street Bullies era Flyers fans, they don't like it. You talk to you talk to the winning crowd, they don't like it. You talk to the rebuild crowd, they don't like it. Like maybe, crowd likes this hire.
Maybe that's the reason to hire him. Maybe that's what makes it work. I don't know. I'm just trying to be like half glass, full, but I don't know. The Flyers are not going to be ready to win next year.
True.
They may not be ready to win the year after that either. So, like, I think if you bring him in and you kind of see what he's got, and if it just doesn't work out, you can always fire him.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I'm curious to see how many years they gave him because, like, they gave Alain Vigneault like 5 years. They gave Tortorella 4 years. They still have another year on his deal. Yeah, I don't know. I have my criticisms for Tocchet.
Well, I think with so obviously next year they're not competing. The year after they're probably not competing, at least to win. I think if you give them a 4-year deal, you give them those 2 buffer years. The third year you kind of say, okay, we're going to start trending in the other direction. Hopefully, we'll see what you got with a good team, and if it doesn't work out, you kind of you let them go with that final year, just like they did with Tortorella.
Yep.
And or if it works out, it works out.
Yeah, for sure. Only time will tell. It just you look at like he's in 8 seasons as a head coach. He's only made the playoffs twice. One of which was a COVID season where he shouldn't have made the playoffs, but 12 teams made the playoffs, and he just happened to win a playing game or whatever. So like I don't consider even that making the playoffs. So in my opinion, made the playoffs once, in 8 years. And then like you look at like his teams just don't score a lot. Like he's usually in the bottom 5 of the league in terms of goals scored. I think he won the coach of the year last year with Vancouver, but he had like ridiculous goaltending. It's like an all-time goaltending season and kind of bailed them out most games. And again, he only had a season like that once. So I have my concerns. Can it work? Sure, because how many times have we seen coaches that didn't work out until it did, I guess. So yeah, only time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see.
As one thing I will say is get Matvei Michkov in bubble wrap. I don't need him getting in fucking car accidents in Dubai. Like I don't need that.
Not to like brush over that, but so a week has gone by since we've talked about their draft position, right? Because we talked about it last week, right?
Yep.
Is in this week, and I'm not sure how much you have done or have not done. Any updates or homework that you have done in the past week?
I haven't done a ton on this.
6 or
I've
7
heard
guys?
Bradley Martin's name starting to kind of gain a lot of traction and kind of move up the board. I haven't done much research on him. I've done a little bit on Desnoyers.
Yeah, but the kid from Montreal.
Yeah,
Quebec,
so
wherever.
their brother's in the system. If they didn't have their brother in the system already, who's not really much of a player, I don't know the Flyers fans would hate Caleb Desnoyers.
Right.
I think the fact that they have his brother already, I think kind of sours people. But like the fact that people don't like this guy makes me want him kind of even more. He's not my first choice. Like
Size,
if
though, too. He's got some size. He's
yeah,
like 6'2", 2 and a
Yep.
half or something.
but like a lot of people are like, oh, he's not like a flashy offensive guy. He's more of kind of a two-way safe player. That's people's criticism with him.
Right.
And like they need the high end speed instead of the safe 200-foot player guy.
Right.
Um,
What are your opinions? I'm changing subjects. Well, it's still Flyers related, but like changing subject from the draft really quick. What do you? Because I'm seeing this the past week too, a lot over the past week. What are your opinions on keeping Luchenko off of the team next year?
I don't know. I mean, I really liked what he had in the first 7-8 games or whatever it was at the beginning of the season. The thing is, he's still too young to play with the Phantoms. So
Right.
if he doesn't play with the
Well, he's with them
Flyers
now, or was with them when they were, because they went to 5 games against Hershey, right, in the loss.
yes. Yeah, he was with them because he was able to report to them after his junior season
Right.
ended. So I believe he's still too young to start the year with them next year. So I think he has to play. I could be mistaken, but I think he has to go back to juniors again.
I think you're right. Yeah,
I think he has to go back to juniors again next year or play with the Flyers. Whatever they think is best, I guess. Like I don't know that like the Flyers are close enough where Jet Luchenko is make or break next year.
Yeah.
I don't know that he needs to really learn much down there in juniors. I think
Right.
I'd rather him just be with the big club and kind of learn life as an everyday NHLer. I think I'd prefer that.
My thought is they do the same thing they did last year. They bring him into camp, they let him play in the preseason, and see what he's got. If they really feel like if they bring him in and they see him again and he does the same thing he did this past year in camp and in the preseason, I do think that they say, okay, they would agree. There's really not much more he could learn down there that he could just learn up here. But I guess if they
Yeah.
feel he kind of has taken a step back, maybe they do feel like, okay, maybe he goes down for the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, I am curious. It also might depend what they do in the offseason. Like there really isn't a whole lot of guys in free agency that they can really sign.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weak class, and I don't know if they're going to trade for. Like they already don't have centers, so
Yeah.
I think it's a strong possibility they keep them. That they'll put them on the team.
Yeah, it's possible.
But I guess it also depends on like
If they
how-
draft one.
well, and how good of a camp he has. Like
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected him to make the team last year, but he was just so ridiculous in preseason and turned so many heads that like they
Sure.
really forced him to keep him as long as they did.
Yeah.
So we shall see. All right, is that all we have? You got anything else?
Think so.
All right. We're gonna get out of here. Like us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And go check us out on firereports.com. A lot of good articles and stuff going on over there. We will see everybody next Tuesday. See you then.
Yep.